Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Football Queensland edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show. We've got a couple of grand finals this weekend, a couple of competitions wrapping up, so who better to talk about them than my good friend. Hopefully they'll let him back in at Goodwin Park. It's Tony Jorkis.
Good evening. They'll let me, mate.
Yeah,
I'll be back there on Sunday afternoon at 6 p.m. to watch them play Queensland Lions.
Yes, and they'll welcome you with open arms, won't they?
Oh, yeah, they'll throw cans at me, I reckon, this week.
Good stuff. Now, we do have other guests. We're still waiting on a couple of others, so we'll introduce them as the show progresses. But, Tony, it's you and me for now. Let's talk MPL.
Yes.
The weekend's results. So you gave Olympic a bit of a ramp last week and they came up against the Sunny Coast Wanderers and, well, did they sneak the 1-0 win or was it a convincing 1-0 win?
No, I don't think it was that convincing. I think they changed. There wasn't pretty football like we're normally watching them play, but they got the result.
Yeah.
Maybe the rev up I gave them last week was what they needed.
Maybe. All right. Let's have a look at those fixtures. So, I mean, that was a massive result for Olympic. It keeps them in the finals race.
Yeah, this is this weekend.
Yes, and I'll just get that ladder up and hopefully that's all current. So, Peninsula Power, 5-point lead with 3 matches remaining. Brisbane Roar in second on 51, having played an extra game. So, Peninsula Power, effectively, one more win and it's theirs. Is that right? 59? Yes. One more win and it's theirs. Yeah. And, of course, they are taking on Eastern Suburbs Friday night. So it could be all wrapped up Friday night, Tony.
Yeah, I think it will be. The interesting thing for me is going to be Peninsula Power in their last game play Sunny Coast Wanderers. I wonder if they will rest players for that game.
And, of course, the Wanderers are in 4th place at the moment in that dog fight with Olympic to get that 4th place. So I'll just quickly run through the ladder before we continue. Lions have continued their great runner and in 3rd place on 50 points with 2 matches remaining. Sunny Coast Wanderers, 3 points back on 47 with 3 matches left to play. Olympic also have 3 matches left to play on 46. Gold Coast Knights, 2 matches left on 46. You've probably got to say it's beyond Knights now, right?
Yeah.
It's going to take an absolute calamity.
They're another disappointment this year, the Knights.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what else to say there.
I'm not saying anything anymore. When you use the word disappointment, the political correctness comes out and the koalas come out.
I think it's just the fact that Brisbane Roar and Sunny Coast Wanderers have been that good. Otherwise, they, would just be talking about the normal top 4. I mean, that's the only change, isn't it? That Brisbane Roar Youth and Sunny Coast Wanderers have had such fantastic seasons. Otherwise, it would be business as usual. Moreton Bay United best of the rest on 42. But this season, they're in 7th place.
We're in for some interesting games this weekend, I think.
We are. And I'll just run through the other fixtures. So Brisbane Roar Youth have a match against Magpies Crusaders. So you'd expect them to get the win there to keep them in second. Lions are taking on Olympic at Goodwin Park. Huge game, huge ramifications. Who would fancy in that one, Tony?
I'm not getting enough to say anything. Getting messages at midnight. So, look, it's a do or die game. You can't get anything more than that. You lose, it's good night.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, Lions, given that they played the extra game, isn't it? If Lions win, Olympic are done. You can't see Olympic getting in there. Maybe if Sunny Coast Wanderers lose as well. Let's see who Sunny Coast Wanderers are playing. They're taking on Moreton Bay United, so that's no gimme as well. That's being played at Volker Park. So maybe Olympic would still be in it, could still be in it with a loss. But But Lions can certainly, with a win, will guarantee themselves final football. So we can certainly make that statement.
Well, the Olympics, the next game, I think, is against the Crusaders, midweek. Now, why would you come down from Mackay to play midweek and go back? You might as well just forfeit it and just get it over and done.
Yeah.
Would you fly from Mackay to play at 7 o'clock and then fly back?
I don't know. If I was a player, I just want to play. And play against the best to measure yourself. So I'll say yes, Tony.
But they're already relegated, aren't they?
They are already relegated. Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens if they don't show up.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we were going to get Scott McDonald on the show tonight. We've been toing and froing with him over the past 4 weeks to get him on the show. He's been saying yes. Tonight he's talking to the Celtic podcast. I mean, priorities, Scott. Let's talk about your future, mate, rather than the past. Hopefully we'll have him on next week.
Okay.
I'm sure Celtic supporters podcast get a heck of a lot more views than us, but future. All right, let's move on now. Let's see, we're still waiting on a few others to log in there. So we'll talk MPLW. And we've got Tony Skinner, who's the coach of Mitchelton. G'day, Tony.
Good evening, Darren. How are you?
Good. Great to have you with us, mate, for the first time this season. Of course, Mitchelton are in the FQPL, but we'll discuss both competitions with you. Given that you played all the teams in the MPLW, Lions have just been amazing this year. Caboolture lost to the QAS on the weekend. Second place Caboolture lost to QAS, who, let's say, it's only because of the fact that they're the QAS that they're not in your competition, and they come away with a win.
Yeah, I think everyone was surprised by that, but I noticed on the lineup that Caboolture were really short by the look of it. I think they've got at least 5 injured players that I know of. All of them would probably walk into most starting 11. So I'm not going to defend Caboolture, but I can certainly see why. And in contrast, Gareth's obviously looking at a few of the QAS girls probably to fill some more spots, to be honest, as well. So there's a lot to play for with those girls. Okay.
Let's have a look at the fixtures in the MPLW this weekend. I'll just get your take on it. So Moreton Bay taking on Sunny Coast Wanderers, Gold Coast United up against East, Lions against Caboolture, and QAS. Can they do it again against Souths?
I probably like
the super coach.
Hey. We'll come back. We'll get to you in a second, Tony. We're talking, Terry. We're talking MPLW at the moment.
I apologise.
We can change. The big man's online, so
it's all right. We'll deal with it in order. So MPLW. So Lions Caboolture this weekend.
Lions Caboolture. I mean, I can't go past Rob. He'd kill me if I did. So I'm going Lions. Lions are missing a few players. Obviously, Holly McQueen's done an ACL as well, so they've got a much younger team. But I just think the way they train, particularly with the 23s, I mean, they play exactly the same. So they'll have players that come straight in and out of both teams pretty easy. So I like Lions, I think.
All right, and it's now a situation. From the teams that I mentioned, I didn't say Gold Coast United, did I, or did I? They got the bye. No, they're taking on East. So with a win, they can jump up into second place.
That's probably the game of the round for me. East, I mean, under Joe, Taz and East are on fire. They're probably the form team of the comp. East, apart from us, East are the only ones that take points off Lions this year. So I think that's a teams, and I think that's the match of the round.
Tell me how you've enjoyed coaching your team now that you're in a division where you're up against teams that are much more, let's say, competitive in the FQ.
It's been a massive shock, to be honest. I mean, when I first agreed to go to Mitchelton, I got told there were all these players and they're all coming back. The reality is no one came back. We had one player from last year. So brand new team, brand new coaching staff, brand new everything, really. So it's been a mess. Frankly, we just needed to put a team on the park this year. And we've done that, and I think we've been really competitive. I can't think of anyone that would walk away thinking they had an easy game against us, and that's really all we could ask for from literally a brand new team. So it's been a challenge, but I've enjoyed the back end of it. I always thought we'd be a second half of the season team, and now we're playing teams around us in the league. It's been really enjoyable. We played Olympic on the weekend, lost 2-0, but again, highly competitive game. Olympic under Danny are a fantastic team, so I can't say I was upset with the result. It was probably what we deserved. So, but yeah, really competitive, really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to next year.
And you're up against your old club, the Gap, this weekend.
Yes. Funny enough, it's probably the only game this year I think back on that I was unhappy with was the Gap, and not because it was my own club, but we genuinely didn't turn up to the races that day. Big difference in their team though this time around. I mean, obviously Georgia Beaumont was killing us. She went to Moreton Bay and she just signed for Adelaide in the A-League Women. Sophie Pearson destroyed us as well. Sophie's now at East, so they're a much different team to what we had in round one. So I'm hoping our performance improves, which obviously I hope therefore the result improves.
And you're just looking at the ladder now, you've secured 4th place. You're going to be playing finals footy.
No, I think that's for the NPL guys, the NPL girls, sorry, they get finals footy. For us, it's just about who gets that promotion spot. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, so really the hot race at the moment, obviously, it's between City, Pride, and Olympic, and I think Olympic and Pride play each other this weekend. So that's probably your grand final right there.
Yep. Okay. So yes, Olympic up against Western Pride. And Brisbane City taking on, they've got the bye.
Oh, there you go. So there's your grand final this weekend. If Olympic win, I think it's done. If they lose, we play Pride next week, and maybe we can do them a favor.
There we go. It's pretty interesting competition there. So Olympic, 22 points, 22 matches played, 41 points. Brisbane City, 22 played, 38 points. Western Pride, 21 played, 37. So all to play for there. Should be an interesting couple of weeks.
Oh, as I said, this weekend I think it's a massive weekend, but I probably like Olympic the most. They're a team full of NPL players, great coaching staff. I think they probably deserve it, but anything could happen.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time there, Tony. Please stick around. Let's get to the grand finals now. We've got Jason Hall from the Southwest Queensland Thunder. G'day, Jason.
G'day, Darren. How you doing?
Good to have you here. Now, Matt Smith was supposed to be joining us. He was at a game tonight that I believe Brisbane City the women's team were playing. You're up against Brisbane City. Big grand final on the weekend this Saturday at AJ Kelly.
Yeah, for sure. Second year in a row that our boys have made it to the big dance, and obviously the result didn't go our way last year, so we're pretty determined to try and turn it around this year. But look, Brisbane City have been the benchmark all year, undefeated to date, and let's see how they go on the weekend.
How satisfying was your win over Rochdale on the weekend?
Obviously, every win in the final is satisfying, but the most satisfying part for myself and all of the coaching staff was the way we played. The players played really well. They played exactly to our game plan. Everything they did paid off. It finished 2-0. We probably took it a bit not relaxed, but we took the foot off the pedal a little bit and just defended. When we got up by 2, we probably could have scored a few more, to be fair, but they played a really good game. And if they can repeat that again this weekend, I think we're a big chance against City.
Brisbane City only just got over the line 3-2 over Western Pride. So, it's not a lay down misere that City going to take this grand final. And of course, Matt Smith got injured on the weekend as well.
Yeah, Matt would be a big doubt whether he's going to play. I guess we can ask him if he comes in later, but he got carried off on a stretcher. I think his ankle's not in real good shape. And, City have got Kai Bolton and Yuta Hirayama have been out for the last few weeks. I don't know whether either of those are playing. I know Kai broke his collarbone, so he'd have to be fairly doubtful. And Yuta had a hamstring injury and hasn't played up till now. So, they've got a lot of their strike power out. We're the same. We've got Pasquale Davida's out. He dislocated his shoulder a couple of weeks ago. So we've lost him. Brody Welsh did an ACL earlier in the year. Michael Ryan's off on for personal reasons. So we Geordie Howard did his quad a couple of weeks ago. So we've sort of got a few out as well. But yeah, look, grand finals come down to the will, I guess, to win and who wants it the most, more so than the lineup.
Is this a game where you just put faith in your playing style? Well, actually, Matt Smith's just about to join us now, so I'll ask this question. Is this a game where you put faith in your playing style, or do you think adjustments will be made because you're playing against City?
No, look, we've got a playing style that we like, and we've used that against most teams. We have changed it around a couple of times this year. In fact, we played City in the midweek game just a couple of weeks ago, and we played one style, one shape in the first half, and we changed it around completely in the second, because we knew that this battle would hopefully pan out for the grand final, and we took it to them in the first half, and they flogged us in the second half. So we know which one we're using.
Matt, you've just joined us now. Can you hear us, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, guys. We just had the women's MPLW against Pride, so you can just still at the ground now. So thank you for your patience, and I hope everyone's well.
Yeah, good stuff. What was the result in that game?
2-2 in the end. So it was, we were pretty close towards the end. We had a player sent off as well. So, yeah, 2-2. Okay. Terry, how are you, mate?
Matty.
well done in your season. Congratulations.
Wherever I was and show where you are, it'd be absolutely classical.
Are you in an English pub there, by the way?
Looks like it.
It looks like an English pub.
Been at the pub all year, Terry, mate. Don't worry about that.
Pig and whistle, isn't it?
It's grand final week.
Matt, first question, how's the ankle?
Perfectly fine, mate. All good to go.
Excellent. All right. Now, the scoreline suggests that you just got over the line over Pride on the weekend.
Hey, it's a tough game. Very, very tough game. Full credit to Western Pride. They certainly come to CTM and gave it a good go. So I have to, please state that they made it very, very difficult for us. So congratulations for them in their season. However, we're looking forward to the game on Saturday.
Yeah, so we were just talking to Jason Hall from Thunder about the game, and you've got a few injuries. Hopefully you're going to be okay. So how are you going to approach this? Are you the type of team that you've got your style, as long as you do what you do best, you'll come away with the biscuits?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be surprised if the coaches in this league haven't watched us play the whole season. We haven't changed our system. What we work on is how to develop our system from within and to try and be better every single week. So our processes won't change. Obviously, the objective week in, week out is to try and improve that, tweak it. Obviously, we adjust a little bit to the team that we play against and the system that they play. But for us, it's a normal training week. For us, it's a opportunity to keep developing what we're doing. And you know what? Like we've achieved our objective for this season. It's a grand final week. We're here to enjoy it as well. These occasions don't come around very often, and I'm sure that Thunder are going to come prepared in what's going to be a good grand final.
Yeah, so just with the only team out of the FQPL that got promoted, have you started doing some planning for next year yet, or is it get through this game first?
Always planning.
Okay.
No, look, I mean, obviously, I wear many different hats at Brisbane City from one day to the next. All focus for me this week and throughout the season is obviously the first team. And like I said, I'm quite prepared when it comes to ensuring that our team is ready, and that's no different this week.
All right, Tony, have you got any questions for these guys?
Good luck, lads.
Thanks, Tony. We love you, Tony. You're always welcome at our home ground.
Mate, I won't be welcome at Goodwin Park, but that's okay.
No, look, Thunder. We've had some very good games with Thunder this season. Obviously, they play a good system. They got some good players. I think we certainly know each other very, very, very well. In what I expect to be a good footballing game. I don't expect too much change from them in terms of what they're going to do. Obviously, we're going to try and play our system as well, and I think it'll be quite an open game. It'll be a fierce encounter, and I wish Thunder all the best, but not too much.
All
What
right.
time is kick off for that game? What
All
time is
right,
kick off?
Tony.
What time is kick off?
7:30.
Oh, well, okay.
7:30, eh? Okay. All right. Now, there is one match being played beforehand, and that's the FQPL 2 grand final. And we've got both of those coaches in with us this evening. Terry Kirkham, who you saw before. G'day, Terry.
Darren, how you going?
Good
And,
night.
buddy.
You are at the Pig and Whistle, right?
correct.
Yes. No, but we've also got Glen Volker, who's the coach of Grange Thistle. G'day, Glen.
G'day, Darren.
Great to have you with us, Glen. Now, we're going to start with you. You had a 4-1 victory over Taringa, who you've just been you two have just been jostling for places all season, and must be very satisfying to get over the line in the semi.
Yeah, look, it was a good performance. It's been really enjoyable. I think I was saying to you before, I haven't been in the game the last few years, but coming back this season, getting to know a few of the other teams around, getting to know Marco recently, and the way that Taringa play has been really enjoyable. We've had some great battles. Actually, I missed our one previous win over them because I was on my anniversary trip out at Stanthorpe, but I was sort of streaming it live at the time and trying to watch it and get it. That's the only game I've missed this year. But yeah, on Saturday night it was a great game. The boys turned up to play and stuck to the game plan really well. We knew what to expect from them, and in the end we just got the biggies.
So let me get this straight. You're in Stanthorpe celebrating your anniversary in brass monkey season, beautiful romantic Stanthorpe, and you're watching your game.
Yeah. My wife was very pleased.
I bet she was.
Yeah.
Did you have another anniversary or not?
Actually, the streaming cut out partway through it, so I was on tenterhooks because it was a very tight game, a late 1-0 win in that game too. So I wasn't the nicest, or I wasn't the most easy person to be around that night. But when we got the win, it all went a lot better after that.
Good stuff. All right. And TK, you had a 3-1 victory over North Star, who defeated you the week before. So good to get your revenge at the right time.
I still have an answer to it. You know, we won the league with 3 weeks to go, and as I made it quite clear to everyone, we set out to win the league, and I was appointed by the club in a 5-year deal to get to the club to the top level. So, you know, my job was to I came into a club and took over where there was not one licensed coach in the entire club with 1,000 players. I just don't steer the first team. I'm steering the entire club. And I'm taking an amateur-based club with a $20 million facility with a vision to go to the top level. And on my appointment, the club wasn't being placed into the QPL. The club was still being left in the Brisbane Premier Leagues. And on my appointment, they got appointed to the QPL, second division. So there's a lot more that sort of goes on to it than what a lot of people actually really can imagine. So my job was to get the club to the level to take us seriously. We've now invested in getting 13 or 14 coaches to the club. C license. So, you know, when I sit there and I listen to the amount of people talk about playing styles and development and whatever, you need to understand that Caboolture, a football club, up until this year, they finished 8th or 9th or 10th last year in the Brisbane Premier League. They've been a massive community football club that has never focused on coaching licenses, coaching development. And my job was to come in and sit at the football club where I sit at the board level and over a 5 to 10 year project, bring the club into line with the current MPL clubs. So, and to be flatly honest with you, the entire club is 10 years behind everybody else. So when I sit there and I watch so many things, and people said, oh, you know, about this money and all the rest of it, let me tell you now, you know, we played on Saturday night. There's 6 players that started in our first team against North Star that have been Caboolture players since day dot. And 6 of those players were a few weeks ago under 23 starting players. And we still got a result. And I think where the game's going wrong is that, you know, we talk about development, we talk about playing styles, but we also need to talk about results. So one thing I was, pasted for from over the fence, and including from the coaching staff from North Star the other night, was philosophy. Okay, so, 20 years as a head coach, I've done every thing you can imagine in this country to all the licensing and whatever. You want to talk about philosophy? I'll give you a very simple philosophy. It's very simple. My philosophy is, currently, my job at Caboolture is to score more goals than the opposition, concede less goals than the opposition, win games of football. And I think that when we win the league with 3 or 4 games to go, and the team that finished 4th, and we're 40 goals more better off, I think our philosophy of football, of playing a bit of direct football to win games and win champs and get the club promoted, is a very simple philosophy. I look at Matty and I look at Matt Smith and the Brisbane City plight just recently. You know, the relegation from the MPL, and considering I was a founding coach in the MPL, day one with Moreton Bay, I think what Brisbane City have done and have shown that, once again, getting relegated and getting promoted is a massive, massive achievement, because it's a business and football's a business. So I'll tell you what, when I look at this year right now and I look at how everyone looks at the game completely differently, as I've always said about Caboolture FC, we are, and I would say, we are a long way behind the 8 ball. But let me tell you, we've now employed a full-time technical director. Next year, we've got 13 coaches going for their C licenses. We're developing a system from our under-12s to under 23s. Our under sort of 6s to under 12s now are being seriously considered. And the club's now in a good, straightforward process to catch up with everybody else. And I think that our achievements this year of winning the league and then going to a grand final is bigger. It's bigger than more people realise, because that community would have never have experienced that. This is a club that I think with 1,000 odd members, and if the opportunities that Football Queensland didn't give them to go into the FQPL2 with that facility that they have, they could have easily been sent back out down the road, and someone else could have taken that facility, which would have been absolute shame for the region. And to see 7 life members in our change room a couple of weeks ago after we won the league, and to see so many people turn up to our games, 600, 700, 800, 1,000 people, and clapping every time when we win, is a testament to the region. And I think the pyramid system of where they want to go with promotion relegation in the leagues is required. And I just want to take this, last point, that when we talk about promotion relegation and people write off the lower leagues, should never, ever write off the lower leagues. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see, teams from the Gold Coast, teams from the Sunshine Coast come through the leagues and be quite strong. To Matty and Brisbane City, I've been around a long time, and I think Brisbane City need to be a powerhouse in this state. But let me tell you right now, I think Sunshine Coast Wanderers, they need to be a powerhouse in this state. Fire have had a chance for a long, long time. Peninsula Power have now done it. Lions have done it, and I think Caboolture now also too needs to be a region that needs to be taken quite seriously, considering the facilities and everything that we have in the infrastructure behind the scenes.
Glenn, I'll throw this back to you. Terry's just outlined that his strategy of winning the grand final is to score more goals than you and concede concede less. How are you going to counteract that, mate? My tongue is in my cheek, TK.
Yeah, good question. Look, it's actually a line I've used a lot as a coach over the years with the players when they ask me what we're going to do. It's like, well, if you put the ball in the back of the net more times than they do to us, then generally you'll win the game. So it is a simple philosophy, and Terry's shown that he's done it really well with his squad this year. And hats off to them. They won the league. It was tough games against them. You know what you're going to get going out there. And he was, said right from the first. They were our first game of the season, and we played him out there. And afterwards had a bit of a chat to him, and he said then, and he'd said through the pre-season that it was about winning the league for them, and they've stuck to their plan and they've done it really well. So, we play, yes, a different style of football. I agree. I think that as a coach and as a football club, you are judged on your results in the senior football area. It's great to have development coming through the club, and Grange has had a really good junior program that's been coming through, and we're starting to see the fruits of some of that in our 23s this year and our 16s and 18s moving on. So there's a lot of good players coming through, but yeah, those players need to learn that it's about winning competitions when you come into senior football. So there's a lot of different ways about going about that. As I said, fantastic being previously involved with Brisbane City as the foundation NPL coach there. It's great to see what Matt's achieved with them after a very, very tough year last year. Them coming through the season, how they have has been fantastic. But yeah, how do we? Yeah, to get back to your question, how do we counter Terry? We play good football. We play our way. We play hard. We we have our systems and our plans in place to minimise their opportunities and maximise ours. And in the end, I think it's going to be a cracking game of football on Saturday evening.
Mr. Jorkas, have you got a question for these guys?
No, I think the important thing is for both teams to just enjoy the day. Don't play the game before it gets to you.
I can't play the game at all. I've got to stand on the sideline.
Make sure the blokes you got playing are enjoying it, and they don't play it 3 days in advance.
Yeah.
Can I say, Darren, I can honestly sit there and say this, and with Glen sitting there, but out of everything I've seen this year, there's been some teams that have really, really improved and they've fine-tuned themselves. I think that we started the season exceptionally well through a very, very good pre-season, and as the league went on, I think the top 4 teams and top 5 teams even improved, and even in the bottom link. And as I said, I think I made my comment a number of weeks ago that everyone underestimated this league. But I can assure you right now that I look at Grange and I go to this week's game. The league has improved immensely, and that's not because of a lot of reasons. It's because of the input of the coaching staff of every club and the players. And and I don't think anyone should write this league off. I think I've coached a lot of games at Peninsula Power, and when we go there on the weekend, it's a beautiful big pitch, and it's going to be great. It probably it will suit actually Grange in the way that Glen set them up. But I've watched a lot of things this year, and I've got to say, I think this weekend is going to be, a very, very good game of football. We will be different. Trust me, we're going to be different to the way Glen's going to set up and play. I already know that. I watched North Star on the weekend. I actually thought they were really good as well. But I have my view on how I want to win games. It might be different when I'm in the MPL or we have a different budget structure and we can afford to go buy players to set in different positions. But on the weekend, when I'm playing 16, 17, 18-year-olds who have never been coached technically, and I have to give them a set job and they just have to keep putting things into certain areas, it's a different ballgame. And we all need to sort of remember that us as head coaches, it's our jobs to not just develop the players, not just we can't talk about game styles. You have to work within the game structure and the game plan to the level of players that you have. And come Saturday night, there's one thing I'm not fearful of. There's probably 3 17 or 18-year-olds that are going to play on the weekend who have never been played or coached or developed in the technical MPL system from 12, 14, 15, 16. North Star have got a lot of players who have been in the players from 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 technical development system. And I reckon Glen's going to be the same. We've got players who have been around the fringes for a long time, and it's going to be an interesting contest. I can assure you that.
Should be a great weekend at AJ Kelly Park. We might wrap up the show there, guys. Thank you all for participating this evening. Good luck on the weekend. And I think we're going to leave it there. Tony, nothing to finish up on?
Good luck to all the teams in grand finals, and see you up at Wynn Park on Sunday.
That's it. All right. This has been the SEQFC, the Village Law SEQFC preview show. Couple of competitions finishing up this weekend. We're going to streamline things next week. We will see you then.